morning, students. So today we are going to start a biology chapter, that is microorganisms. Okay, so what is this microorganisms? Organisms which cannot be seen through naked eyes. Okay, we cannot see that organisms, so such type of organisms we call it as microorganisms. Okay, in each and every places, in any solid substance, in any liquid substance, in any gaseous substance, in all our environment we find this microorganisms. But the thing is, we cannot see that in our naked eyes. Okay, so such organisms we call it as microorganisms. Now we are having a short video clip wherein in that video clip we are going to explain, they are going to explain about the beneficiary microorganisms. So beneficiary microorganisms means microorganisms which is useful to human. Okay, microorganism which is useful to human, such type of microorganism we call it as beneficiary microorganisms. Now in which and all cases some microorganisms is useful, we shall go through a video clip.
In this video, we will talk about beneficial microorganisms. Making of curd. You might have seen that your mother added a little curd to warm milk, and the next day, milk gets converted to curd. It is because the lactobacillus bacteria present in curd multiply itself and promotes conversion of milk into curd. Similarly, curd is also added while preparing rava idlis and bhaturas because the lactobacillus bacteria multiply and during respiration releases carbon dioxide, which makes the...
Next we'll go through where do microorganisms live. Okay, very important question. Where do microorganisms live? They live in land, in water and in air. Okay, they live in all the three sources, that is in land, in water and in air. And also they also found inside the body of animals too. Okay, so first point, say they live in all the three sources such as land, water and air. And again they also found inside the body of animals. Okay, so inside the body of animals also microorganisms will be found. And the third point, say it is also present in the soil. Okay, this microorganisms is also present in the soil. So whatever the microorganisms present in soil, it does the work of soil fertility. It fertiles the soil. Okay, so how does it fertiles the soil? That is by fixing nitrogen to the soil. Okay, by fixing nitrogen to the soil's fertility automatically increases. So this work is done by whom? By microorganisms. Okay, so there are 3 points. Where do microorganisms live? First thing is they live in land, water and air. Then they also found in the body of the animals, as well as they are present in the soil. And what is the work they are going to do in the soil? They are doing the soil fertility. How do they fertile soil? By fixing nitrogen to the soil. By fixing nitrogen to the soil, soil will turn into fertile. Okay, we'll move on to a process called as fermentation. Okay, so what is fermentation? When sugar is converted into alcohol by adding yeast, this process is known as fermentation. Okay, so sugar can be converted into alcohol. So how it can be converted? By adding a microorganism, that is yeast. Okay, so yeast, whatever the powder we obtain, it looks like a nice powdered one, but inside that yeast you will find microorganisms. Okay, so because of that microorganisms, sugar can be converted into alcohol. Okay, so that particular process is called as fermentation. And the next one is some organisms causes diseases in human beings. Okay, some diseases will be caused to human being by certain microorganisms. Okay, so such type of microorganisms is called as pathogens. Okay, so what is pathogen? Some microorganisms causes disease in human beings. So such microorganisms which is causing diseases to human beings are known as pathogens. So whatever the microorganisms which is causing diseases, there will be a particular medicine to prevent such disease. Okay, so that particular medicine is called as antibiotic. Wherein, what is antibiotic? Some medicine is helpful in treating the disease caused by microorganisms. Now if whatever the disease is caused because of the microorganisms, then there will be certain medicine for that. Okay, so that particular medicine is referred to be antibiotics, wherein pathogen as well as antibiotic is very important question. We'll move on to the communicable diseases. Now, what is this communicable disease? Spreading of diseases from infected person to a healthy person. Okay, so one infected person will be there, already he'll be having a certain type of disease in his body, and that disease will be transferred to a healthy person. How? Through air, either through water or through a physical contact. Okay, these are the three main sources of transferring the disease, that is air, water or physical contact. If the disease transfers from infected person to healthy person, then such type of disease we call it as communicable disease. Okay, it is very important question. What is communicable disease? It is a spreading of disease from the infected person to a healthy person, either through air or water or through physical contact, is called as communicable disease. And the next one is disease causing through microorganisms in plants. Okay, so let us see in plants how the disease will be caused by microorganisms. So especially the plants such as wheat plant, paddy plant, sugarcane plant and orange plant. In these particular plants, the disease causing microorganisms will be attacked very soon. Okay, that is in these four plants, that is wheat, paddy, sugarcane and orange. In these four plants, the microorganism attack will be very soon, and these four plants will obtain the disease very quickly because of the attacking of microorganisms. And automatically when the microorganism is attacked to these plants, then there will be the reduce in the yield. Okay, yield will be automatically reduced when there will be a attack of microorganisms. So this is how the disease will be caused by plants because of microorganisms. Now let us see how the disease is caused in animals. Okay, so anthrax is a name of a disease. This is caused in cattle. Okay, this is caused in cattle, and especially this anthrax disease can be found out by looking at the mouth of the cattle. Okay, by checking the mouth, we can see that anthrax disease is attacked to that cattle. So that is attacked because of a virus, because of a small virus. This anthrax disease is going to attack into the cattle, that is in case of animals. So there are two different types, students. In plants you can see several type of plants where disease is going to attack by microorganisms, and similarly in animals also in different way the microorganism is going to attack. So this is very important question along with the communicable disease. Topic is food poisoning. Okay, this is a major topic. Everybody might have heard about this, food poisoning. So it is due to consumption of spoiled food by some microorganisms. Okay, so how the food will get spoiled? By the attack of microorganisms. If those spoiled food, if we consume such food, then doctor will say that so you have got food poison, right? So this question is important, students. What is food poison? It is due to consumption of spoiled food which is attacked by the microorganisms. So we need to preserve our food, we need to protect our food from microorganisms. So for that, the first step is preservation by common salt. Okay, preservation by common salt. So specially we used to preserve meat, fish with salt usually. Okay, so if meat and fish is retained for a longer time, then we need to preserve it by common salt. And also raw mangoes are also preserved by using common salt for a longer day. So this is a first prevention step, that is preservation of common salt. Second prevention step is preserving step is preservation by sugar. Okay, so second one is preservation by sugar. So especially jams, jellies and all, they are preserved by adding sugar into these substance. If we add a certain extent of sugar only, this jams and jellies will be preserved for a longer days. That is the second one. And the third one is preservation by oil and vinegar. Okay, preservation by oil and vinegar. See students, in the preparation of pickles especially, this oil and vinegar is used. So why this oil and vinegar is used in the preparation of pickles? Why? Because to prevent it from spoiling. So pickle means usually we keep it for several days, right? So to prevent it from spoiling, what we do? We add oil and vinegar so that pickle will not be spoiled for several days. So these are the three different preservation steps. Okay. So the next one is a pasteurization. Pasteurization means preventing the growth of microbes in milk. Especially here, preventing the growth of microbes in milk by boiling as well as by cooling in a certain extent. Okay, so if you go through any milk diaries and all students, see there is a milk diary in Kulshekar, Nandini milk diary. There what they do is they boil the milk to a certain extent. So at what extent they boil, to the equal amount of that they cool it. Okay, so they cool it. So such type of process we call it as pasteurization. How much amount of heating, boiling will be done, the same amount of cooling will be done in the milk dairies to prevent the growth of microbes. Okay, to prevent the growth of microbes, they do this. Such process we call it as pasteurization. And Louis Pasteur is the one who discovered this process, that is pasteurization. It is very important question. What is pasteurization and who discovered it? Who discovered it? Louis Pasteur discovered pasteurization. Topic is nitrogen cycle. So there is a video clip, students. Go through the video clip. Here they are going to explain very clearly about the nitrogen cycle. Go through it.
Nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen is the important essential element for all living organisms by the synthesis of amino acids, proteins, enzymes, etc. What happens if there is no nitrogen? Root systems and plant growth are stunted. All the leaves turn yellow. Decrease in crop production. Soil microorganisms. Life become dangerous. In atmosphere, its concentration is 78%. The circulation or cyclic movement of nitrogen from the atmosphere, physical or abiotic component, to soil, biotic component, and back into the atmosphere is known as nitrogen cycle.
This is a diagram of a nitrogen cycle, students. Okay, so whatever the explanation you have received in video, that is just for your reference, wherein in the examination nitrogen cycle diagram will be asked. So by that time you need to draw this diagram. See, it is in page number 27. Okay, go through this diagram, and this is very important question for your FA exam as well as for your SA exam and also for your final examination. Okay, nitrogen cycle will be sure question for 3 marks. So go through it, and here ends the chapter microorganism.